Hi, readers. Today we're going to continue reading about our focus topic, U.S. symbols. Now, before we start reading our next article a day, I wanted to talk a little bit more about our focus word, symbol. So many of you may have noticed when we were trying to stretch out all of the sounds that we heard in our focus word, symbol, we got a little tricky there, because it sounded like in the first syllable of the word symbol, it sounded like in our first syllable sim that we heard the short I sound. But sometimes the letter Y makes the short I sound. And short I says, eh. Can you say it with me? Eh. Good job. And sometimes the letter Y makes the long I sound. Long I says I. Remember that sometimes when we say that long vowel I, our mouth opens a lot wider. I. Okay, it doesn't open as wide when we say the short I sound, eh. Okay, like in symbol. So when we're sorting the rest of these words in our word bank, we want to think about if the letter Y makes the short I sound like in the word symbol, or if it makes the long I sound like in the word trying. Let's take a moment and sort the rest of these words in the word bank. So as we discussed, symbol makes the short I sound, as well as trying makes the long I sound. So the next word in our word bank that sounds like symbol is system. The Y in system also makes the short I sound. And another word in the word bank that makes the long I sound like trying is myself. Again, notice how we opened up our mouth when we said the long I sound. Another word that belongs in the short I column is physical and bicycle. Also, Egypt. Words that make the long I sound, like trying, is by and nearby. Readers, you did such a great job sorting these words that had the short I sound with the letter Y, and words that had the letter Y but made the long I sound. So now we are ready to read our article a day. The article a day is titled, A Great Statue. And here we see the meaning of statue. A statue is a carving or figure of a person or animal. And here is an example of what a statue might look like. And this statue looks like it's of a person. Maybe you've seen a statue before of a person or an animal. Read along with me as we read our article a day, The Great Statue. A big statue of a woman stands on an island near New York City. It is the Statue of Liberty. The woman has a large crown on her head. She is holding a torch that symbolizes freedom. All right, readers, Why don't you hold your torch high up in the air like the Statue of Liberty? Let's visit the statue. We take a ferry boat to get there. We go inside the statue. We climb up 354 steps to the crown. Now we look out the windows of one of the biggest statues in the world. So this must be a ferry boat that you would take to get there. And once you get there, you have to climb all the way up the 354 steps, all the way around up to the crown. And this must be the view, what it must look like when you're up there in one of the biggest statues in the world. Wow, that's a long way down. After reading this article a day, I want you to think about what you learned from this article that you would like to remember. And I'd like you to take out your book of knowledge now. Maybe you have a virtual book of knowledge or on a piece of paper. And you can try out this sentence frame if you'd like. The Statue of Liberty. Pause the video now and take a moment to jot down what you learned. As we were reading this article a day, I used this sentence frame and I wrote, the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom. We're learning so much about the US symbols in our articles. So now, readers, I'd like you to take out your meaning mapper. We've done so much work in our meaning mappers, connecting new words to our focus word, symbol. Now, remember that a symbol is an object or picture that represents or stands for something else. So, what new word can you connect to our focus word symbol or one of the other words in your meaning mapper? Pause the video now and add that word to your meaning mapper, readers. As we were reading, I thought of a new word to connect to our focus word symbol, and that is the word statue. Because our Statue of Liberty is a symbol that represents freedom for America. And many statues across the country and around the world are a symbol that represents something else as well. Thank you for joining me today, readers, as we read about the great statue.